I have a lot of things to do that needs to get done throughout my days. So why not create a to-do list with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? But this is going to be a multi-part series simply because I don't really know the code for JavaScript to make that work. So we're going to start with day 0. This day is going to be the planning day. Let's jump a little bit into it. I want to see exactly how do I want this to-do list to look. I do have a replica that I want to commit to, but then number 2, I also need to do research on the JavaScript code that I'm going to be writing. Let's jump right into this. We got how to create a to-do list. This video is from Great Stack. I actually really like this video. The only thing I don't like is that he puts on click on an HTML, so that's probably going to be one of the hard things for me to do, is like, how do I do that in JavaScript? But it's okay. I think other than that, I think he does pretty good. I haven't read the comments on this video, but so far, I already understand it to an extent when it comes to HTML and CSS, right? So I don't need any help there. I don't know why people are mainly coming to this part. I'm not sure. But the JavaScript part, oh, I think that is when they get into JavaScript, like here. This is the part I need to mainly focus on. So this video, which is why I'm either calling it either day 1 or day 0. I'm probably going to call it like 0 for the series, is because I am going to be studying off of this video. This series is literally going to be straight up me studying, me taking notes in here about what I need to do. So hopefully, you know, this person's video, they don't end up getting upset because I showed some of it. I want to be able to ask ChatGPT necessarily what the hell is going on. For instance, I think one of them is like index HTML or something HTML. I don't understand that. All right, so we're gonna end up getting into this. I don't really know where to start, but I think the first thing I should do, and I'm gonna really write myself like a list of things, because I think this is the best way to learn, is by getting yourself to like actually do projects and break it down for yourself to understand. So the first thing we need to do, even though I already know what I need to do first, it's just so much better to be able to do it. So we're going to go first. Okay, can't uppercase. We're going to go first, declare your variables that align with your IDs, right? So we're going to be, that's what he ends up doing here. If we fast forward, get element ID by this, the input box, which I believe the input box is his, I think is, what is it called? What is it called? Where you type like your to-do list. So first declare your variables, which he ends up declaring. I'm gonna make it very clear. This might be, is this like a cheat code? Taking notes? Well, the thing is I want to know if I can get myself to write it. I don't care if I have something telling me necessarily like how to do it, but can I actually write the code without needing help from the code? Did that make any sense? Okay, so number 1, we are going to declare the input. Oops, we're going to declare the input box, and I'm probably not going to name it the same thing, so even so, it's going to be a little bit annoying. And then, so declare the input box, and then declare, I think they end up declaring the container, so I'm going to say, declare the container, which obviously contains the UL, if that makes sense. Hopefully I can understand what the hell I just wrote. So I'm gonna try to put the volume down. I don't really want to hear it too much. Okay, so he's gonna end up writing it all out before we really understand it. So I can already tell you off of this one. So it's saying basically, because we already got input box declared, which is going to target the input box. So when they type this in the if, we are targeting it and we are targeting the value of it, right? We're targeting what it is going to equal. You put the 3 equal signs because that I heard that's just industry standard. So it's basically saying when the input box is empty, right? When there's nothing written, you can't just click add. And I don't know how I understood this. It's probably because of this message, to be honest. But you can't just click the add button. It's not going to go through. You're going to end up getting alerted that you must write something. But else, meaning that, so if it's empty, you can't just click add. But I don't know how you can really say this to understand it, but I think it's saying, but if you basically were to type something, this is where I get a little bit confused because I don't know how to go line by line here. Like I could tell you exactly this. So it's saying if this input box up here's value is empty, it will alert you that you must write something. So it's not going to go through unless or else and then they end up declaring the li. So unless you declare, so they declare the li equals document that create element li. So I'm assuming this is targeting the li section when you write in the dotted list or in the undotted list, whatever the hell it is. So it's saying unless you declare something, so they declare li document that create element li. So li.inner.html is where I'm confused. This is where I need to take a note, because what does that mean? But it's saying unless the li inner.html equals the input box dot value. Then out of nowhere we go from list container. So now we start talking about this one. So now we're targeting the list container and we're doing append child li. So this creates a new li by milk li and appends it to the first UL on the page. Let me know if you'd like a simple demo to see how this works. I think, let me make this clear. So we are doing a to-do list. So there's task, dot text content task. I don't think they put that for us. Yeah, we didn't do that. We did something with inner HTML, but that's probably something further. So right now, all we got to do is focus on is that this right here creates a task item. We're gonna go and paste that. Oh, I like the color that they made that. And then also too, I want to get a bit of the definition here, just so I can understand. So document tells the browser to create a new HTML, which stands for list items, and it returns a reference to the new li element. So yes, I think that's actually a great way to explain that. I really like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it creates the task item and then tells the browser to create a new HTML element of the type, which I think is basically what relates to this part, which stands for a list item. And then it says it returned a reference to that new li element, which you can then manipulate. So I don't know why they put it in such big words, but that's okay. Next, we need to end up looking into what's the next part. So I understand what it's doing. It is basically creating a new task for you, I guess. So it's creating a new task, which I'm assuming here must be how it allows you to write what you want to write. So absolutely, let's break this down line by line. So step by step, li, this is the reference to make a new item, a new list item. Okay, got that. This is a reference to the input field where the user types their to-do list task. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this is where they type it. So that's why we're doing input box is value. Oh wait, no, I think I already understood that. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. I mean, just in case though, we are finna paste that just in case, because what if I don't know? An input box dot value describes whatever the user typed. I knew it. There was something there. So it's whatever the user typed into the box. So for example, if they type do laundry, then the input box will equal that. I actually really like this part. Because this is the thing, I just need to break it down for myself to understand. I might even let myself use these notes for my first to-do list, because the point is to start building. li inner HTML equals this. This puts that typed text into the list item. Oh, that is fire. Tell the browser, set the inside of the li to whatever the user typed. Okay, that's basically what I said. I may have, or I may have not. Why they break it down? I like it. So this is how you add your new task to the actual to-do list on the page. Oh, okay, that's nice. I didn't think that. I thought, okay, so because I thought it was probably the one up above, but I guess not. I guess it is not the one up above. We're gonna paste that. So list container, can I get it together, please? Like we want this to be green. Can we please follow what we've been doing? So this container.append child li, this is how you add your new task li to the actual to-do list on the page. So list container uses a reference to the element that holds the list. Okay, yep, I understand that. You might grab it like this. Yep. Okay, this is your newly created li item, a task from earlier, I understand. And then this adds the li as a child to this container, meaning it appears inside the UL. Okay, this is something that is really good to remember. Truly, truly, really good to remember. I should probably make this green then, huh? I'm trying to follow what the hell we've been doing. I don't know why he's trying to act all brand new and doesn't want to keep stuff green here. Okay, so on to the next. So append child, this adds the li. So what happens? In your HTML has UL ID list container, task goes here, li container, so and this. So why do they keep putting it, showing me like typed in HTML? Like I get it because they're trying to make me like visually see it, but it's weird. So they say that here is a mini version. So you do this, okay. Would you like to add checkboxes or delete buttons next? I mean, of course. So declaring a span, which she ends up getting, which creates an element span, which I'm assuming this entirely is what, at least from what he said, this is making an X appear next to it. So you would write span entering. I think you would have to write that exactly to create an X, but the X isn't going to appear necessarily where we want it to until we target it in, I believe, CSS, which I would already know how to do, but I think they're going to show us how to target this exact thing, but from CSS. So I never seen like CSS grabbing something from JavaScript and then taking it in. So now if you guys think I should be creating X part in JavaScript or in HTML, let me know, because this video should come out before I make that video. So we definitely have time whether I should make it in HTML or CSS, or make it in HTML or JS and then, you know, grab it from there. So let me go and understand though, because why are we calling it span? I think span is just giving it a name, right? I don't think you have to call it span. You're just calling it span and then it's telling it to create an element span. So it's really gonna end up creating this, and then span inner HTML is going to be making an X here, just because I want it to be broken down specifically there. So first, what is inner HTML? Inner HTML is a property in JavaScript that lets you set or get the HTML content inside an element. So think of it like what goes between the opening and closing tags of this element. Okay, this would make div strong hello. So use inner HTML if you're adding HTML content like b span I. Oh, but the thing is that over here that's not what we did. But whatever. We'll I guess, you know, I'll continue to understand a little bit more as I use it. So now we're talking about inner HTML here, so we can understand that. And then we got let span equal document.create element span. This right here is a Unicode escape for multiplication sign X, often used as a delete or close symbol. Okay, yeah, see, I figured that. And then equals X, not to be confused with the letter X. Also equals times, not X. So that it will clear after you type a task in it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know, also have to make this green just so I can understand. Hopefully I'm writing this very well for future Marzi, man, because future Marzi, she's gonna have a blast, isn't she? Okay. Alrighty guys, so I did a lot more on my own because I realized there was a couple of things that I did need to get done. So I believe we ended up ending, no, I think I just added that. Now we're going to break it down. You got the add event listener here, click, which means you're listening for a click event. Well, the computer basically is. So this tells the browser, hey, when someone clicks anywhere inside this list container, run this function, which I think is so cool to know that that's what that does. And I cannot wait to end up getting into building this damn to-do list, I tell you. Then function E, and then, you know, nothing, we got stuff here, but you know, nothing written yet. This is the function that runs when a click happens. So the E is short for event, and it gives you the information about what was clicked on, which is great. And then obviously you would write, you know, you continue to add your code. Where is it at? Because it says event click function E, and then they write exactly which one is going to be, like what is happening, and then what happens when it is clicked on. So then we got how it works. If the user clicks on the LI, right, so anything on the LI, it adds or removes a checked class to show that it's completed. But if they click the span, which is the X button, it will remove the whole LI. So if, oh, I gotta make this green here. So then we got if eTarget.tagName equals LI, eTarget, oh wait, I'm stupid. Then this is basically all the code, and it's saying its purpose is that this code handles what happens when the user clicks on something inside the to-do list, either marking it with a check or deleting the task. So eTarget, this tells you what was actually clicked on. Example, if you click the X button, eTarget is the span. If you click the text, eTarget is the LI, which I thought was a really cool breakdown. Hopefully ChatGPT is correct here. So let me know, Waldo. Hopefully you're watching, because I don't know, you haven't been commenting, so hopefully you're watching. But checks if the clicked element is an LI, a task. And then HTML tag names are always uppercase when using tag names. So that's something good to know, because I would have been like, what? So eTarget.classList.toggleCheck, this literally is what adds or removes the checked class on the LI. The class might make the task look crossed out with CSS if you do it correctly, and this is this. Hopefully, I'm not going to need to necessarily look this up. I don't think I do, but I do think at some point there is something in CSS where I definitely am going to need help with, which we will be getting there shortly. But then we got else if eTarget.tagName equals spam, which I think is also saying like else if means it's not like if and then if it's not that, then else come here. I think it basically else if means like you could do both. Like, so you could do this or you could do that in the same function. So it says if the user clicked on the span, which is the X delete button, and then eTarget.parent element remove, this actually deletes the entire task, which is the LI, by removing its parent element, which is the LI that contains the span. So clicking the span X removes the entire LI. So what does the false mean? At the end, right? So the false is the third argument in an add event lister, and it controls something called event bubbling. So what it eventually tells me is that normally you don't really have to add false, because I guess naturally it is false. True is a bit more advanced, and a lot of things don't need true there. They actually need false, but it explains. So and it controls something called event bubbling versus I don't know what happened to the word, but it's event bubbling versus we fill that in. So capturing is when you put true. So when you click something inside nested elements, the event travels like this. So capturing phase from the top HTML down to the thing you clicked, while the bubbling phase is from the clicked element back up to the top. So I'm still kind of confused what that means, unless it means like, so if I click something at the bottom, right, I check it off, it's going to go to the top is what I'm assuming it's saying. Not sure. So most events like click are handled during the bubbling phase. That's why why is it writing stuff like that? I don't even know. False or missing, use bubbling default. That's going to be confusing. So it's okay. We're going to fix that later. But function save data. What this line means. This is the start of a function declaration named save data, and it means define a function called save data that will run some code when I call it. So obviously this is just straight up saving data. You should usually use the save data to save your stuff. And then you end up writing stuff like local storage set item to do data, like basically what you have written. Because what they put here, I think is list container HTML, and then they put data, I think giving it like a name. So that's normally what you would write, and I think that's pretty cool. And then it says here, the breakdown is that you're writing local storage.set item, which saves something in the browser, like a tiny storage box, and to do data is a label key you're using to store the data. So it says the full HTML of your to-do list, including LI and span, is what that is. So what does it save? If your list looks like this, copy edit, then list HTML is this, the whole string gets saved. You usually call it right after adding, checking, or deleting a task. So that's something that's very key as well, is to make sure that I put it after stuff. So they gave me a little bit of tips here. So for instance, with the append child, they put save data here, and then for the list container at the end of the if else, they end up putting save data here. And that pretty much is the breakdown. So I know y'all came with me in the beginning, but I just wanted to get that end part done. And I know these notes are probably all over the place, honestly, but you know, it's best for me to at least understand. I think there are probably different ways where I could have definitely made it a bit more understandable. But I think I do get it. You may not understand my notes, but I definitely do get it. So hopefully, you know, somebody ends up pointing out if there is anything wrong here or anything that should be done, you know, career standard wise, so that I know not to do it. Like for instance, writing the span in JavaScript, should I write that in HTML instead? Which I don't know why the dude in this video did that, if that was the case. So that's why I'm a little bit confused there. Other than that, I feel like everything else makes a lot of sense what he did, because especially too, I'm taking notes basically off of what he did, but then having ChatGPT mentor me on it. I didn't like write the whole code to them. I just wrote well, technically I did, but I wrote it in bits and pieces so that they can understand what is going on to be able to mentor me. So let me know, did ChatGPT mentor me for real? I actually don't even know what I'm gonna name this video, but I'm suddenly starting to think, can ChatGPT teach me to make a to-do list? That might be a good title for this video. But alright, I hope you all ended up enjoying. Deuces. Next part, we are going to end up getting into the HTML part, and then depending on how quick that goes, I might put CSS in that same part. We'll see.